Greetings, Temple Beth Shalom. Rabbi Boxt here with Parashat Shavua, the Torah portion for this week. This week we are still in the book of Leviticus. We are in Parashat Emor, Leviticus chapter 21, verse 1 through chapter 24, 23. And we are beginning Parashat Emor with the pursuit of holiness. We're continuing with laws that are governing the priesthood, restrictions and limitations for those who are priests, things that they can and can't do. The way that they shave their heads, or they cut the prohibition against cutting the side growth of their beards. The priesthood should not go. The priest should not go anywhere where there's a dead body. Not going outside the sanctuary to do certain things. This is chapter 21. Chapter 22 continues with the sacred donations. Regarding, if what happens if there's impurities, for example. Aaron and his sons must separate themselves from the sacrifices at certain necessary times. And there are rules for the way that they are to partake of these sacred donations. And there's rules for how far or how much the people bringing the sacrifices are able to go in with the sacrifice. There's certain levels of holiness from within the sanctuary itself. Parashat Emor continues with paying the priests for the sacred donations and laws governing non-Israelites who are donating to God, the God of Israel as well. And there's different kinds of offerings. There's the free will offering, which is a gift to the sanctuary. It's not intended for sacrifice, therefore it doesn't have to be perfect. And then we get to chapter 23, and we begin to talk about the calendar of sacred time. We talk about Shabbat, obviously, Feast of the Unleavened Bread, Passover, the feast of the new grain crop. So we're talking about the gathering of the sheaves for the festival of Shavuot, and then of course we also are talking about the Yom Kippur and the Jewish day, the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. So we are building together this sacred calendar. Of course, these refer directly to the pilgrimage festivals when the Jews who are bringing sacrifices are to go to Jerusalem to offer them to God. And there's a whole section about the Day of Atonement and practicing self-denial and fasting on Yom Kippur. Just this whole section is pretty much on Yom Kippur. And then we get to chapter 24, and we have more laws. Kindling the menorah, blasphemy, and other serious crimes. How the law relates to the stranger versus the citizen. And it ends with, Moses spoke thus to the Israelites, and they took the blasphemer outside the camp and pelted him with stones. The Israelites did as the Lord had commanded Moses. And that may seem like a really weird way to end Parashat Emor, but this is for someone who blasphemes against God. If he pronounces the name of God, he's to be put to death. And the whole community does this, whether they're a stranger or a citizen. If anyone kills any human being, he shall be put to death. One who kills a beast shall make restitution for it. If anyone maims his fellow, we have fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. And then the main thing here that ends with is what to do if someone blasphemes against God, and that's considered to be one of the worst crimes you could commit, and that's why you take the blasphemer outside of camp and pelt him with stones. Thank God that we look at the laws of the Torah today, and we look at them through a modern contemporary lens, and we realize that pelting someone with stones is murder. And we have other ways of handling these kinds of things, from the most stringent of laws to the most basic of laws. that is our Parashat HaShavua for this week. I wish you an early Shabbat Shalom, and I'll see you next time.